Guys, let's be real. I'm trying to wrestle my mind around why is the question that we default to way too often, what if it doesn't work out? And we will expand on some level of, uh, other ways to say that, such as, what if I embarrass myself? What if it fails? But today, I would like to, flip that script a little bit. What if, just what if, the thing does work out? What if that relationship thrives? What if your business grows? What if the dreams that you dream come true? But then, more importantly, also, what about that piece that you just found? What happens if it stays and there's no other shoe to drop? See, you've been rehearsing that worst case scenario far too long, and I guess I understand that it may be some level of protectionism. It's some way to keep you safe, not get your hopes up. But can we just for once imagine a best case scenario? Well, hey guys, I'm Dr. Emmanuel George, and you are here at the Emmanuel Dr. EG3 podcast. You guys can just call me Dr. EG3, and here we keep it real. We talk about clarity, we talk about growth, confidence, and becoming the version of you that you've been holding back for whatever reason, even if it means that you show up messy, uncertain, or in transitions. Each week, we dive into these heart level conversations that challenge the way we think, how we show up, and how we become. And today, it's going to be no different. We're talking about possibilities today and flipping the question that we usually default to. We want to make sure we're not just talking about what if it doesn't work out. Today, we're going to talk about what if it does. Because here's what I believe. You've rehearsed your fears long enough, and I would encourage you, let's learn to rehearse our faith. Now, if you don't mind me getting personal a little bit here, but there was a moment where I stood right there on the edge of that decision. I had to decide whether or not I was going to step down from my corporate job. They were going through this corporate repositioning, and I had to decide, where do I go from here? I had to make a decision, not just what they offered me. I had to decide if I wanted to live life on my terms. Now, to be honest with you, on paper, the ultimate decision I made didn't make any sense. The title that I had was strong. The salary was set steady. I had every reason to stay the course and accept the package and go further and continue with my career. But deep down, I was restless. I had this dream of just being fully present with my family, had been married for several years, had, a 16, 17, 18-month-old kid. And I had this dream to not just provide, but I really wanted to be there. Growing up in the circumstances that I grew up in, I didn't have the example as to what does a doting husband look like, a father around. But I wanted to be that. I wanted to be that devoted husband, that dedicated father. I was really just figuring out ways that I could learn to be a grounded man. But here's the truth in that moment, if I could be honest with you guys, I feared mostly that I would fail my family. Not in the heart sense, but at the moment, the financial one. Would we be okay? Would I be able to create the life that was both meaningful and stable? And I remember sitting chatting with my wife, and she looked at me and said, we'll figure this out. We'll figure it out together. Now, she wasn't being naive. She believed in me and in what we were building and what we desired and the life that we wanted to plan together. Now, if I could be honest with you, once I announced my stepping down, most people around me thought I was out of my mind. I remember in the social media posts, they were wondering, why would I do that? Why would I step down? When I announced to the world that I was making a transition, I thought I would be applauded, but I wasn't. I was almost chastised and scorned. They were wondering, why would I step away when my career seemed to be moving up? But I can tell you, my wife's voice, it was her certainty that really helped. Her voice was louder than any of the fear that I had. So I moved. It wasn't guaranteed. It wasn't going to be smooth. But guess what? It all worked out. And not just in ways that I expected. If I could be honest with you, it actually worked out for the better. Everything that I thought that I was losing or was going to lose came back to me in so many ways that I truly never saw coming. Because once I made space, just by making that transition, I became available. Now, you may be wondering, what was I available to? Guess what? New opportunities. I was available to meet new people. But most importantly, I was available for a new purpose in a way that I couldn't access before because I was just in this, this race of doing what I thought was correct. Since that time, I've gotten to walk alongside hundreds of amazing young people. I've got to speak at institutions and events that I've never imagined before. And honestly, I got to become the version of me that had been waiting to be unlocked for so long. If I could be honest, I felt stifled in that role, now that I get to look back at it. And if I had made that move, I would have missed every moment of it. I might have kept the job, but I lost the connection. I might have grown the title, but my soul would have been shrunken. Now, we catastrophize the what if it falls apart way too much, when honestly, the worst case scenario, although it's possible, is most likely not even probable. So you may wonder, okay, how do I get over all of this? Well, let me give you 3 powerful reframes to shift your fear to faith and from doubt to possibility. Number 1, doubt is not proof, it's a signal. Just because you feel doubt doesn't mean you're disqualified. Doubt often shows up when something truly matters in our life, something we really care about. This is your system telling you, whoa, slow down. This here is important. Let's get ready. Let's not be casual about this. Think of it like light stage that'll lighten up. The brightness may make you a little nervous, but it shows and it means that the show's about to begin. So prepare, ground yourself. Don't panic. Don't confuse the nervous energy that you're feeling for the newness with a red flag. Number 2, visualize success as often as you visualize failure. You ever notice how clear your worst case scenarios are? You know exactly what it would look like to fail. The email doesn't get answered. The audience doesn't clap for you. The money doesn't show up in your account. But what if you gave that same vivid imagination permission to go in the other direction? What if you actually pictured that email that gets responded to that opens the door? The moment someone says, you're exactly what we needed. The feeling that you have when walking in alignment and things seeming just feel like they click, fall into place. If you're going to play out the future, you might as well play out the side that has the best upside of it versus the downside. Number 3, use your history as evidence. Sometimes we act like we've never made it through anything. We act like this is all brand new circumstance. And again, if you're listening to this thing, I'm sure you survived a bunch of things in your past. We act like you are brand new to uncertainty, that you've never been at a crossroads of transitions before. But you, guess what? You've already overcome. You've already pivoted probably dozens, if not hundreds of times in your life. You've already stretched yourself beyond the norms that you have, and you've stretched yourself into rooms where you didn't feel ready. So go back, look at your own receipts, check them. You've been here before, but guess what? You've also succeeded before. The time you didn't know that how it would work out, but guess what? It did. The season you doubted your strength, you found more than you thought was possible. And I think you need to use that as your proof, not just postulating as to what in fact may happen. Your past doesn't just tell the story, it builds the case for your courage. So again, I don't know why you're being all scared, because look, you're still here. Now, here's the challenge that I have for you this week. Here's what I want you to sit with. What would you do if you believed it could work out? Not guaranteed to, but a large possibility that it would work out. Would you send that message? Would you start that project? Would you even open that application and put yourself out there? Would you stop delaying your gift because of an outcome that you can't predict? So start there. Just one step, just one move, One moment of action that's rooted in possibility. You don't have to force the outcome. You just have to stop pre-writing your failure. So, if this episode stirred something in you, if it's something that, you think that, really got you going, take a moment, subscribe somewhere on this page. How about this? Share it with someone else that you think may need to hear it. And if you think that I can help you, go to my website, emmanuelgeorge.com, for some resources that could really help you with that. Because your breakthrough truly is on the other side of the fear that you're feeling. But most importantly, it's on the other side of the motion that you need to go forward. And just want to end with, just so you know, as always, guys, love you much.